Hi, I'm George K. and this is my father Niels. Welcome back to Father and Sonthesizer. This week we're going to talk about another previous project, the Mega Percussive Synthesizer by Thomas Henry. But first, Niels, you have something to say, don't you?
This one is for Niklas. You remember we talked about the whiskey on Sunday? I got the name now. It's a Glendronach, 12 years old.
Hope you enjoy that, Niklas. Let's get back to the Mega Percussive Synthesizer. We found that design, you found it, while we were stumbling around the interwebs, didn't you?
Yes, indeed. It really caught my eye because it is very versatile. You can create all kinds of percussive sounds. Bells and whistles and
snare drums, bass drums, all kinds of sound. It's a very interesting synthesizer, but let's not talk about it, let me show you. What we have here is the Mega Percussive Synth. Here we've got some extra stuff that shouldn't be bothering you right now, but right here is the synth. And it's got 4 sections. First we have the shell, then the noise, the impact, and the mixer, and then we also have the trigger input. Let's start with the shell. The shell, let me just turn it up in the mixer. It's basically just a noise generator with some modulation options and a ring modulator. Add some more decay, some sweeps so we get an 808-like sound. Sounds almost like an 808 now. We've got a tom type sound. Let's add some ring modulation. That sounds pretty cool already. Now let's check out the impact. Can't even really explain what that sound does, or what that sound is. We can add some beef to our sound with that. Now let's check out the noise. This is the one part of the synth that I don't really like, because it does some weird type of ringing and I can't explain why. You hear that? Now let's add all of these together. That's a pretty cool sound. Let's make a beat with that. Now that you've heard the Mega Percussive Synthesizer, Niels, did you encounter any problems building it?
I did. I started with the original design from Thomas Henry.
Editing George here. There isn't really an original design. Dad recorded a little explanation.
So the very first attempt to build the MPS was with a PCB of my own design. I was very new with the KiCad program and, well, it did not work. He was publishing a layout, and you see this is what's left of that. I could not get it to work actually. To be frank, the noise generator did not generate any noise, and
the sound generator didn't generate any sound.
Yeah, so after a couple of days, maybe a week or 2 weeks of trying, I decided, I want to do my own PCB, and so that's what I did.
And this is one of our very first synthesizers we built, one of the first modules, among the first.
Yeah, one of the first modules. Of course, we thought it's a good extension to the synthesizer we already had. Creating my own PCB, the first attempt, not good. And so I created a second layout for the PCB, and that one I was happy with, and I actually produced it. Then populating the board and bring it to life. The noise generator now finally worked. Beautiful. And you see, the Mega Percussive Synthesizer, the MPS, really consists of basically 4 parts. And I could get all 3 of those parts I could get to work. But the last part, the sound generation,
no matter what you did, it just didn't work.
I tried all kinds of things, again with LT Spice and so on, and to no avail. I was about to throw everything out when I had an idea. You see, the XR2206 sound generation chips I was putting in there, I ordered them through eBay from China to a very, very cheap price. And somehow that may be too cheap. Yeah, it was too cheap. So I ordered the same chip from a local distributor for like 10 times the price I paid in China. But guess what? Now the last module worked. Yeah, so it seems I fell
for a scam. They were fakes.
Yeah, what I got from China were fake chips. It did cost me quite some time to figure that out.
Yeah, once you had that, basically it worked.
Then it worked, and we could. Yeah, then we noticed that the PCB was too big to fit into a standard eurorack.
And the front plate, the face plate was as well.
So we created a new face plate, like 30 millimeters higher, about a bit more than an inch
high.
Yeah. So it's now 150 millimeters high, the front panel, and we built a new rack for that.
Yeah, this is the standard we're using now for our modules. It's we call it the MPS standard because we invented it because of the MPS, because it didn't fit anywhere else. And that's it's got the same specs as eurorack, it's just a bit taller.
But that extra space really enables you to squeeze in a lot more of the functionality, because now the front panel, because it's a little bit higher, you can make it smaller, so you can add more modules in your rack.
And that's the MPS. But this week we also got some comments, and the one that we wanted to talk about was by I'm going to mispronounce this, I'm sorry, Tuka Jeskelainen. It sounds Finnish or something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but he says, or they say, any guide or specifics on the 0 to 12 switched 1 volt source. That's a really neat idea. Would definitely be useful for DIY. And yeah, we have because I think a few episodes ago we mentioned we had this little device right here.
Exactly.
Yeah, which has a 12-way switch in which to select between 0 and how many?
I think it's 0 to 5 volts.
Yeah, 0
to 5 octaves.
So every click, every switch is 1 volt, exactly 1 volt. So you can calibrate your VCOs.
So to be honest, this is not our design. Again, the brilliant Ray Wilson provided us with the schematics for that. It's called the octave switch, and you will find it on his website, Music from Outer Space. I took the schematic from there and modified them a little bit because there were things on there I don't really need. So stripped it down to the basic, and it just works beautiful.
Are we going to provide the dear listeners and dear watchers with the schematics?
Yes, of course we do.
They will be on our website.
Same with the PCB layout in KiCad for the MPS, the final version we got to work.
So this was a bit of a shorter episode, I hope. And thank you everyone for watching. Check out the other episodes as well, and check out my Instagram, that's @GeorgeKMusic. I post a lot of music stuff on there whenever I play around with my synthesizers, not as much in the feed, but mostly in the stories. And also check out our website, that's fatherandsynthesizer.wordpress.com, I think. On there we have all schematics and a write-up for every module that we talk about. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you again next week. And remember, stay curious.